We usually go for a pre-stream anyway, so...
Yeah, fair.
Is it me, or is Collateral Ads at the bottom of this lobby?
Well, I'm not even in the lobby, so that's a good idea for me to actually get in. There we go. And yes, he's actually at the bottom.
Oh, that's... I don't know whether that's scary. Technically speaking, you're at the bottom now.
That seems fitting from the tier 3 race. Codemasters are clearly letting me know. They're letting me know your place. So
Yeah.
I think that's just that been told.
If you ask me, the commentators should be at the top. We're the ones
Well,
that people tune in for us. They don't tune in for the racing, clearly.
yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be here yet. Because there's clearly no racing going on. When I say no one's tuned in, Streamlabs says we've got one viewer.
This is probably you.
It's not me, it's probably Gary. Hi, Gary. No, it's Diamond. Hey, up the Diamond. Actually, to be fair, there's 6 of us.
There
It's
we
just
go.
the viewer count doesn't update.
Oh man.
We'll be going very soon, ladies and gents. We just gotta sort out the lobby settings. Ali Ferrari's got to pick his car. Ali Ferrari, please pick your car.
At the top of that list, we're sending a hate mail to Codemasters. FPRL Karen is on it.
Yeah. Just sending Ali a friendly reminder to pick his car. Which of course you can't see, because it's in the tier 1 chat.
Is Ali even here?
He is, he's right at the bottom. He's below you.
Oh, now he is.
Somehow Collateral Ads just jumped above me. What's that all about? I didn't... Alright.
The two commentators are at the bottom.
We were on 18, and now we're on 17.
Oh dear.
What's this about? It's TS9. He's probably sat there in the old lobby thinking, why is everyone left?
Quick disclaimer, Silverside boy, don't use my full name in chat. This fraud actually typed my full name.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
He went on my Xbox profile just to look at my name and just type, right, there, look up. How'd you spell it again?
To be fair, you are showing me your full name. So
true.
Because I'm on capture card.
He said he did. Actually fraud, but you're genuinely a fraud. I hope you suffer next season in tier 1, mate. I in turn will suffer in tier 2 if I get promoted.
Yeah. And just for those that aren't sure if Gary spelt it right, there it is on screen for you now in the top left.
Ah, for God's sake.
And there you go. Gary's outed me as well. Gary Hay has outed me. That is Gary Hay. Wait for
And
Zilla.
I suppose it's...
No, we're not waiting for Zilla.
Oh, this is a brilliant start.
Ah. I feel like timing him out, to be honest. Have none of that. Oh, Henkers, you legend. Henkers resubscribed, tier 1. And that is his 10-month sub-anniversary.
Well, hey, perfect 10.
Fantastic. Much appreciated, Henkers. Oh dear. Well, technically we're loaded into the lobby now, so best do the intro, I suppose.
Hey,
There you
suppose.
go. Nice and sunny. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fair Play Racing League. Tonight with the Tier 1s, continuing our week of COTA. That's right. Austin, Texas, or Texas Austin, as Gary said last night. And, well, here we are. Yeah, I'm, of course, your host on a Thursday, as always, David Lolfos. This time joined by, well, not an unfamiliar voice, but unusual to have you here with me on the Thursday, so thank you very much. And I should probably let you introduce yourself, I suppose.
Well, suppose. No, it's Cruiser 1872, the biggest fraud around the circuit of the Americas in Tier 3, and I am joining our new Tier 3 Constructors Champion tonight, David Lowface, along with a certain Diamond Douche, who's actually in this lobby this evening, repping the McLaren.
Yeah, who'd have thought it? I mean, last week, obviously, you were back in the Ferrari. Was it last week or the week before? Can't remember.
I think it was the Singapore race, so 2 weeks ago. I think less said about that, the better, to be honest.
Yeah,
I might or might not have got lapped, so...
to be fair, these guys are rapid in Tier 1.
But it was in the Tier 2 race that I
Shut
competed
up.
in and got lapped.
I knew
So,
that.
yeah, so I
Oh, dear.
was... That right there just proves I'm still Tier 3 level, do not promote me.
Yeah, well, here is the douche. Also, Tier 3 Ferrari Constructors. And yeah, he's having a go in Tier 1. Obviously, he thinks he's above the Tier 2s, I reckon. Which is why he's opted to be part of Tier 1 tonight. He is first out on the track. Yep, as you say, in the McLaren tonight. Unusual colours for him. But let's see how he gets on as he jumps into the first quali lap of the night. Of course, one of the things about the Circuit of Americas is, well, it's a bloody tricky circuit to keep your lap valid. So let's take a look from the T-Cam, see how Diamond gets on. Not the cleanest of the S's at the start of his lap at the moment. But he has, most importantly, kept it valid. It might not be about getting the cleanest lap, it'd just be getting a clean lap in Q1 at the moment. Jarvis still thinks he should be allowed to race. Well, I'm sorry, Jarvis, but after last night's shenanigans, not a chance. And big hello in the chat to Ads1 as well. Of course, racing in the AlphaTauri tonight. So, a couple of purple sectors coming in from Diamond at the moment then. But I think first we're going to talk a little bit about the troubles that you might find at this circuit. And I'm going to ask the resident expert on troubles at COTA, Crozer, what makes this track so tricky? At least when you're on medium traction. I'm not talking about Diamond, he's a fraud.
Well, currently P1 in the standings, 34.7, which is roughly what his pace was in Tier 3, in the Tier 3 qualifying yesterday. But yeah, I really need to mention the quote-unquote troubles at this track. Yeah, well, suppose I need to... Well, first off, it would be especially around the, I believe it would be the horseshoe, which I believe is where Knocko is just heading up to now as Brookieman does a 34-0 already in Q1. So just this corner here is very easy to overheat the rear tyres and go for a full 360 as I done 3 times in the Tier 3 race. And the third time round I decided that was enough and I hung up the racing gloves to join Silverside Boy for the final 10 laps, which I've got to say was actually quite eventful as we've got yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's just Brookieman backing off as Nocco begins their lap now in the Scarlet's Ferrari, in his own fight actually, in the Tier 1 standings for second place with, I believe it is, Drobo in the other McLaren. So whoever can outscore either driver tonight has definitely got the momentum towards the final few races of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And while the title has been decided, like Tier 3, it is very exciting. Oh, Collaterades, there goes for a spin. And yeah, that's another tricky place to keep the car going in a straight line. So yeah, we're going to jump on with his teammate Monkey Boy Kurt, who's just coming through this rather deadly horseshoe corner, as you say, Cruiser. And I think the main problem is so like if you're like me, you run if you ran medium traction as I did in qualifying last night, I have the lowest tyre pressures on, which means you're probably likely to struggle setting a time. Well, actually, you can do your out lap, and then you can do your hot lap, and you get to sector 3, and your tyres are overheating. Your tyres are effectively they're overheating. They're done already. So that is certainly not ideal, and that's to be completely truthful. That is exactly what cost me last night in qualifying. That's why I was down in P15. Well up on my time coming into that corner, and yeah, I just turned across into probably around halfway through the corner, and I found myself going opposite lock to avoid meeting an unfortunate end like you did so many times last night, Cruiser.
This is going to be a recurring theme tonight, isn't it? I just
Oh,
know it. Well,
talking about a
the main
recurring
thing is,
theme.
oh,
Around goes Collaterades at the same corner. I think that man needs to turn up his diff, quite possibly. Or turn down his tyre pressures. So we've got just over 10 minutes left. We've had a hot lap, the top of the timing boards from Nocco. He's just peeling back into the pits now, showing some good pace in qualifying, as he has shown pretty much all year. And behind him is Brookie, just 2.5 tenths. Ooh, Brookie going for a spin around the horseshoe. I think we should have a horseshoe spin counter, because honestly, so? It's deadly. Really is.
No, there we go. Right, well, you can add 3 onto that counter already from the race last night, and I think we're at 2 already for the Tier 1 race. Well, for the Tier 1 qualifying even. So, turn 17 counter, so we bring back the spin counter, last seen from Abu Dhabi's turn 3. So...
You got a good, bloody good memory. Oh dear. What is it, turn 17?
Yeah.
Right, and we're on 2 for the moment.
Hey! There you go. Not quite 15 just yet.
Yeah, but 15 is what you need to do. What you need to beat.
have a quick look in the Twitch chat as well and see that FRA Ads is also subscribed with Twitch Prime, and they've subscribed for 3 months in a row. So thank you for that, FRA Ads, and I'm sure David will echo the comments also.
Yeah, absolutely. Big thank you to Ads One. Excuse me. I'm trying to sort out this turn 17 counter. Try and make it a bit more legible.
There we go.
Pickle wants to race. Pickle can pickle off. Oh dear. Anyway, I've left you guys sitting looking at the pits. So, what have I missed? Looks like Object Fungus has put in a half decent time on a second attempt. He's done a 134.3. And Ali Ferrari now bottles his first lap as we see an Alpine go massively wide there trying to get out of the way. I think that was Monkey Boy. Brookie Min thinks he's safe. He probably is, to be fair, with a 134, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely safe enough in towards Q2, and Ads has actually joined him on a 34.0 up in third. And looking to another few names that aren't really too familiar in Tier 1, obviously we have Pidgeon tonight in the Haas, Silverside Boy in the Aston Martin, both of these drivers P10 and P11 respectively. We've also got Arbon making his return to the Tier 1 category as well. And
Nice of him to
Junivane
turn
too.
up.
And Junivane too, up in 6th place with Diamond right behind him as well. So these drivers here definitely making a decent impression so far in Q1. And with only 17 drivers in the grid this evening, this means there's only going to be 2 drivers that are going to get knocked out in Q1. And so far, shockingly enough, it's looking like it's going to be Drobel and Ali Ferrari. They two are in a bit of trouble right now to actually get out of Q1.
Yeah, absolutely. Drobel was, I think, if he was going to be a late joiner, but he has managed, because of the late start, has managed to join us at Q1. Fungus in the chat suggesting that the race time might not be correct. The sun is very low. I was kind of seeing down the back straight, if we jump on with collateral ads, you look at the sun, yeah, coming down into this braking zone. I kind of thought the sun was really low there on Diamond's outlap, but actually I think it's probably just a little bit of haze. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the weather. We'll find out soon enough when, when the race comes and it's pitch black because it's night time. Right. So, who is on a lap at the moment? We've got AMS Drive, who has invalidated. Let's watch Drobel through the horseshoe. He's got his foot pinned, so he's doing very well for himself. He hasn't spun it, so good going there from Drobel. As Ads has left the sesh. I'm sure Cruiser's working on getting him in. Unless it's not invite only, in which case we don't need to worry. Oops.
Oh dear.
And there you go, he's back in the room.
And that makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah. Zad says, whoops. I mean, it takes some doing if you've left accidentally, Ads. Unless that's a cheeky way to... Oh, he meant to retire. He clicked leave session. Oh, dear.
Oh, well that's a bit silly. Oh no, Colin!
Oh, Colin, no. Where is... Oh, Colin's binned it. Where is Colin Bindit? Oh, at the end of Sector 1.
Him
Let's hop
at
on
the
with
end of
his
the
teammate.
And his car has disappeared.
Yeah, never mind. I didn't get to see where that was. I would assume on the inside.
Yeah, most likely in the barriers, and that means that, well, C Davies, as he's more commonly known as, means then he's out now in Q1, which is quite a disappointment for the Haas driver, and it means now that AMS driver is still in the pits. I think he's actually no, he's not. He's not leaving the pits now. He's not got much time left to put a lap on the board, and Ali Ferrari's running out of time himself also. So these three drivers now currently in the drop zone have to really get a move on here.
Yeah, not much time left in this session. Can't tell you exactly how much because of yellow flags. There you go, just over 2.5 minutes. So TS9 now starts his flying lap. AMS Drive is indeed coming out of the pits with just a 135.3 to beat. I'm sure someone explained to me how this works. I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, and I've forgotten. So I don't know whether the drivers have to put a faster time than TJ in, or is it a faster time than Colin? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Just drive fast.
Yeah.
That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, my assumption is they've got to put in a faster time than TJ. I think that's correct. Oh yes, Piggle in the chat. Voice of wisdom as always. They've just got to go faster than TJ, who is de facto P15. Although it does show Colin there in P15. I don't know what you mean. Most people know him as C Davies 17 though. People tune into this chat, they know it's Colin.
True, and Ali Ferrari up now in 11th. Just getting out of the drop zone.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll be good enough for him at the moment. Not the best time in the world, 134.8. I say that, it's 1.2 seconds faster than what I did in Q1 yesterday, so you know I shouldn't say too much. So now that means Collateral Ads could be in trouble here. If TJ goes quicker, he needs to improve by less than a tenth. And he's got 38 seconds to cross the line, which I'm sure he'll do. Let's follow AMS Drive on his hot lap on the medium tyres then. And gets through Sector 1. This is a last chance saloon for the lad. As TS9 has invalidated his first lap and he's now on his second. We'll stick with TS9 for the moment just to see what he can do. He is the leading driver of the two. Of course, technically a tier 3 driver, but he quite clearly loves this track because he had a fantastic race last night. I had some fantastic battles with him. And he's just coming around the horseshoe now. Around turn 17. Gets through it. Hits the apex very nicely for 18. What I assume is 18. And across the line, it's only a 35.5. And they... Wow. AMS Drive then. Leaving it late, but I'll tell you what, he's gone sub 34 on a set of medium tyres, which definitely bodes well for the race. Considering those are probably the race tyres that you want to be on.
No comment.
And that means TJ is the last one left. What can he do? He does improve, but unfortunately it's not enough. And he is going to be out in Q1, joining TS9 and shock exit Collateral Ads. So big disappointment for the Alpine driver, losing out in Q1. As we see there, the McLaren of Diamond Duchy through into Q2. Let's just have a look at the top 5 or so. So the top 5 separated by just 2.5 tenths, 3.5 tenths, I should say. We got Nocco, he got in the Ferrari, followed by AMS Drive doing that mega lap on those medium tyres. Drobel in P3 on the softs. In the McLaren, Brookie P4 and Ads1 in P5. And I'm sure you'll be happy to see Drobel up there as always, Cruiser.
Yeah, definitely a good result for the Tier 1 McLaren driver, and I've got to say as well, Diamond put in a good qualifying as well to get through into Q2 along with Silverside Boy and I believe Junuvane also. And all things considered as well for TS9, he is, I would probably argue, like the slowest driver in this lobby tonight, and still only found a way to be, I think it was 4 tenths behind Collateral Ads. I think Collateral Ads though might have just had an off day, but regardless, I think that was a decent and respectable lap for TS9, even though they are eliminated in Q1, and only 14 drivers as we get ready for the start of Q2. But I think as well, a one driver we should really be keeping an eye on as well is AMS Drive. Only, I believe it was like 600ths of a second down on Knocko, and AMS Drive was running a set of medium tyres while Knocko was on softs. So it looks like AMS Drive in the early stages of qualifying does have that little bit of extra pace in hand, but see if he can play that deal and win big in qualifying to take pole position into the main race this evening.
Yeah, uh, absolutely well said. Another Tier 2 driver had a pretty good qualifying is this man here, Silverside Boy. He obviously wants a bit of stream time, so he's come out first at the start of Q2. And there you go, confirming that. He says in the chat, don't forget me. Well, it's not easy to do, Gary. We can never forget you. Also in the chat, TS9 saying no ERS and drive definitely got my toe for that lap. So could we have some a little bit of a alliance between those two? Maybe just completely accidental. But
Oh,
yeah, nevertheless, we'll see come Q3. Right, who else we got in the chat? We got Jarvis suggesting running 0-0 wings here. That would explain a little bit. Jarvis himself forgot to put his 0-0 wing setup on before the race last night, so he forgot to do it and decided, well, he'd better take off his own front wing on the back of other people's cars.
absolutely fraudulent.
As I've been gifted a drink by Mr. Cruiser.
Go on, mate, you've earned it, and I feel like rewarding myself too, so I'll just redeem a quick drink redemption also, as you still follow Silverside Boy, just going round this very acute hairpin now of turn 11. Gonna get my lap delta up on screen real quick and see just the DRS run down this very long back straight now for the Aston Martin, hitting speeds of nearly 200 miles an hour before slamming on the brakes for turn 12. Another very acute hairpin, which you can get away with cutting the inside curb a little bit, but it's a very tight track limit boundary. As we got a purple sector 2 and a slow McLaren in the back straight. I think that might be Drobo on the outlap. And then these corners just keep coming thick and fast now for Silverside Boy up to the horseshoe now around turn 17, which filters into turn 18. Very reminiscent of turn 8 around Istanbul. Now turn 19 near flat out. committed. Avoid the sausage curb on the inside, and then the final corner, turn 20. Keeps it within the boundaries, a bit wide on exit, running over the curb, and it's a 135.3 for the Aston Martin. But I imagine for a banker lap, he's got some delta on the board, and hopefully a bit more time in hand to get through to Q3.
Yeah, it was a good solid lap on the medium tyres, and I want to shout you out for your knowledge of yes, that section being modelled after the corners of Istanbul. Of course, this initial S's sector here in Kota, modelled, I believe, after Maggots Beckett's, that section, Maggots Beckett's Chapel, I think it is, and so basically, if the Americans want to do something, they just copy everyone else and call it and slap a big USA flag on it, and that's pretty much America in a nutshell.
I suppose though, if you are going to copy, take the best elements of it and implement it as your own, and Brookham in a 134.3 on a set of mediums. So that just shows the time advantage. Well, I suppose I wouldn't say really time advantage, but the time, would you say it, time aggregate really, between Tier 1 and Tier 2. Because Silverside Boy is no slouch in these qualifying sessions, but 1 second down on Brookham, who him himself isn't any slouch in Tier 1, as Ali Ferrari questioned his pace in Q1. Seems like he's found it now, top of the standings on a 133.8, and the familiar gap of 4 thousandths of a second down to Nocco in second place. I think that's now the third time in 5 qualifying sessions that there's a gap of 4 thousandths of a second between the top two.
I'll tell you what, you pay much more attention than me in these qualifying sessions. I'm usually just reading in chat and paying attention to anything but what's going on my screen. Diamond crosses the line on the second time of asking, does a 135.2, puts him in P6 at the moment, marginally ahead of Silverside Boy, who of course was on the medium tyres, who is next to set a lap. Well, it won't be Drobel because he's invalidated, although quite possibly will be Drobel. Nope, Drobel pits. Never mind. It's probably going to be Drive as we wait for him to go around his outlap. And yeah, some good times on the board early on. I'm not quite sure what the delta difference is between the mediums and the softs here, but 5 tenths, that seems to be, well, a lot less than the delta would be, if you ask me, if that makes any sense. I like to think it makes sense. Yeah, I'm thinking the medium's probably around 0.8 to 1 seconds slower here than the softs. So that just does go to show what a brilliant lap that was from Brookie.
Seen quite a lot of action. Oh, sorry about that. Seen quite a lot of action though on outlaps. We've got ads on their outlap along with Lexus and Junuvane, and Henk is just leaving the pits also. So around the midpoint now in Q2, it seems like that these drivers just going out for that outlap now, and also Monkey Boy Kurt in that Alpine, also on a set of medium tyres. So looking like a banker lap at least still for all of these drivers just going on that outlap now as AMS Drive. A purple sector 1 it seems, and just leaving the S's section now. He's might not get held up too much behind these cars on their outlap, just heading down the back straight now, and let's see if we get any more slipstream. Unfortunately, TS9 isn't there to help him out this time.
Yeah, a little bit of a lack of coordination between the AlphaTauri drivers here. It was a good opportunity for TS9 to give his teammate a big old slipstream, but he's going to have to get out of the way pretty sharpish, especially around here, and he does. Pulls off to the right before turn 16. So through 17 at the moment. I did see Arbon in the chat ask what the turn 17 counter was for. That is purely just a counter of the people that have spun in this session at turn 17. I mean, it is exactly what it says it is. And still only 2. It's like I've reverse cursed it. As AMS Drive. Well. What a lap. 4/10 quicker for AMS Drive. And he goes 33.4.
Yeah, it definitely looks like AMS Drive does have the qualifying pace. And just to quickly put a disclaimer out there, Arbon was the one who asked about the turn 17 counter. Unfortunately, Arbon is not out on track, but still P6 at least for themselves. But a 134.9, that might be borderline in getting through into Q3. But also just to mention too that this entire Tier 1 grid so far has had less spins than I did in the Tier 3 race, because I managed 3 of them. So you've got to try a bit harder than that Tier 1, because I'm better than all of you right now. Well, I suppose better, but also worse at the same time.
Better but worse. Yep. That's that's the FPRL motto. Better but worse. That's a lie. We're better but even better. Clearly. Henker's now across the line, goes P5. So slots in between Brookie Min and Object Fungus with a 34.1. Good lap. Right there. Let's have a look with Ads 1 then, as he's coming around the final corner to set his second flying lap, and he goes P2 with a 33.4. That's very close to drive's time. At the moment, AlphaTauri domination in Q2. Well, let's hope it goes better for them tonight than it did last night. Of course, rather comically, I'm sure TS9 won't thank me too much for saying it. Yeah, rather comically, both ran out of fuel on the last lap. So yeah, it wasn't great for them, but it was great amusement for the stream, I'm sure. And it was good for me, because obviously I made a place past TS9, who honestly was faster than me all night last night. And yeah, he's looking for redemption tonight. Obviously tonight he'll obviously put in an extra lap of fuel, and there's going to be a safety car at lap 1, turn 1, just to spite him, I think.
Well, never say never on the safety cars. And Lexus, what's happened? I think Lexus has retired in the pits.
Yeah, Lexus.
It seems like
maybe
just like Lexus doesn't have enough. Yeah, sorry, I completely cut you off twice there.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, I think he's just given up. Sod this. I can't beat these guys. Why waste another set of softs? At the moment, he's not going to be starting in P14, which of course is the bottom of Q2 at the moment. So let's have a look at Monkey. He's come out for his outlap at the moment, and yeah, a little bit last chance saloon for the Alpine driver. Once again, has struggled, even when you'd think he wouldn't. His if you look at his time trial times, they are pretty darn good everywhere, but never gets to do it in quali or indeed, although he is a little bit better in the race, never quite lives up to that potential. We'll see if he can make something special happen tonight. MS Drive, rightly so, comfortable, retires in the pits. Oh, excuse me. Object Fungus then is rather bold from the man on a 133.7. I suppose it's relatively safe. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 drivers behind him, and 3 of them, 3 of them are in a lower tier, so taking a little bit of a chance is Object, as we're following around the Williams of Arbon. Doing alright so far. Let's see if he can add to our counter then, coming around turn 17 now. Nope, no curse on me. I am obviously blessed tonight. We'll wait for the inevitable mistake to happen there. Arbon going P10 with a 34.3.
Yeah, I'm just going through the leaderboard so far. Diamond's going to be starting their final run in just a few moments. Brookieman too. Now with Arbon going 10th, they're in trouble of getting through into Q3, but don't need to find too much time. But they are still very much at risk. And Monkey Boy Kurt as well, just going through turn 12, see what their second sector split is, and it's a purple sector too apparently for the Alpine. Just will keep it under control, and he could really shake up the midfield here, going in towards the final few moments of Q2 as Brookieman just starts their lap now, and it's going to be do or die for the Mercedes to try and get into Q3. But Monkey Boy Kurt just going round the final few corners now as the checkered flag falls. You're going to see no further improvements for Ali Ferrari or Silver
Oh,
Side Boy down
Monkey,
in ninth. And
no!
Kurt's dropped it at the final corner! Alpine spinning it at the exit of the final corner, and that means Monkey Boy Kurt is only going to be 14th on the grid for tonight's race. It everything on the line, and unfortunately it was just too much, and they've lost out. They're quickly just jump through the grid as well. You see that Arbon is doing a back off of that run, so they're in trouble too. And Diamond Duchy up by more than 4 tenths, so this could really get interesting going in towards this final sector.
Yeah, Diamond Douchey coming into sector 3, 420, 420 thousandths up, which is absolutely blazing. And he's coming around the last couple of corners now. Let's follow him around here. There you go, foot to the floor, nice and early, 9 tenths faster, and displaces Arbon. So Arbon's out. Brookie Min also right on the cusp. He's not got a lot of time. He's not going to have another chance. He is up, and where does he go? P6, which pushes Diamond out, and that means Silverside Boy is through. Of course, he was through anyway. It's just nobody actually bothered noticing.
Yeah,
Apart from him, obviously, who's decided to show up in chat. As Yorkie also alongside him celebrating with a Nado Q3. Right, so there you have it. That's the results from Q2. We're losing then. Monkey Boy Kurt unfortunately had a spin on the very last corner, which cost him his lap, and I don't think we'll know what he could have had. Let's have a look. Also, Lexus missing out in P13. P12 was someone, and P11 was Douchey. Who was P12?
I believe that would be Arbon, who was in
It was
in 12th. Yes.
Yep,
And
just testing
going
your knowledge.
And you're welcome for refreshing your memory. Now, just starting into Q3 as well, but I think one driver I'm really gonna give a quite well done to. Actually, tell I two drivers. Of course, Silverside Boy getting into Q3, but I believe this is his first run in the Tier 1 category too, so that'll give him a good bit of confidence going in towards the Tier 2 race tomorrow. But as well, Juno Vane, definitely seen as well in the Tier 2 races that the Red Bull driver, he does have a lot of qualifying pace up his sleeve, and I believe he actually got 8th. Oh dear, MS Drive. That's not quite the way you want to start Q3.
Yep, not ideal from a MS drive. As he nearly takes out his teammate and a Mercedes. Not ideal from the AlphaTauri, but we'll carry on. Pickle's calling you out for being biased, obviously.
Yeah, well, but just remember what team Silverside Boy is in this evening, Nigel. So I think you should appreciate the bias for this one time.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently, Junu's done a 32.7 in TT. Shocking.
Interesting.
Ali's saying his TT is a 33.3. So in before Ali does a 33.2 in Q3.
That would probably be. That would actually be pretty realistic, to be honest. For what? Oh, Drobo, what's happened?
That's on the back straight.
He's lit up the rears and slammed into the wall.
Oh yeah, it looks like he was trying to warm his tyres, maybe? Oh, that is not good for Drobo.
No. Well, it's going to be P10 only, and just seeing as well the driver just going past him there, Notto, I think has a pretty much a drenched or Jeremy Clarkson-sized grin underneath that crash helmet, knowing that his contender for second place in the championship only going to be starting in 10th place. So Notto really does have to take this chance in qualifying, or it might actually be more of a curse than a blessing for the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, of course, he does have his wingman for the race, and he has actually been shown to have superior quali pace at times to his teammate. But we'll have to wait another 8.5 minutes as we set up a pole for pole. Yeah, we've gonna have to wait just a little while to find out the final grid order. But for the moment, we're hopping on board of AMS Drive with his first hot lap. Did get back to the front of the field after his small mishap at turn 1. Excuse me. It's been a long day. I've not even been working and it's been a long day. So AMS Drive now coming around the last corner. I've not got the telemetry or lap data up, but it's a 33.1.
Oh dear, oh, I think I just went round at turn 18. He did, I just saw it there in the mini-map. He just dropped it going through turn 18, so that's not going to be the start that Ads wanted in this qualifying session, but I think this is really just more about getting a lap time on the board, and I think he's going to go again despite not having much battery left in that AlphaTauri, but I suppose anything can, as long as it's better than a 142.4, then he's got a good idea as to where he can gain and also make up some time on that final run in this Q3 session, as we see Notto going P5 and Junivane also up in 4th place. So that's a very strong lap for the one-time Williams driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the drivers have now put their lap in, and the Ferrari started late, as did Silverside Boy, but he's coming around turn 17 now and hits the apex pretty nicely for 18, and now into the final corner. Foot to the floor, DRS wide open, it's a 34.4, so technically at the back of representative times, but that could very well have been on a scrub set. Maybe? Question mark? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too kind. Which is very unlike me.
Yeah, I think he just confirmed it in the chat there, saying he was on a set of used softs for that run, but I suppose a scrub set of softs into a 34.4. That's a pretty decent lap regardless, as just through half the session now, and Ali Ferrari on their first run has invalidated their lap, so I think that'll be straight in the pits for the Mercedes driver, and no surprise at all, AMS Drive heading the field once again, but Brookieman only 2 tenths behind him in that Mercedes.
Yeah, so Ali Ferrari is going to go again with 5 minutes left on the board. We've got a pole for pole up right now in the Twitch chat. And Diamond saying it's a big lap from Gary. Okay, yeah, it is a big lap, but at the moment it's put him de facto. Well, technically it is P7. We'll tell it what it is. It is P7 with 5 minutes left to go, and definitely a decent lap. Decent lap on used softs. Brookiemin in the chat saying the disrespect on Brookiemin's name is not tolerated. Did I accidentally spell his name? Did I spell his name wrong?
No, I don't think you did. No.
No. Okay. So I'm going to assume that disrespect is not coming from us, because obviously he's done very well. Oh, Ali!
Oh.
I mean, that's probably 2.5 spins, right?
Still, regardless, that is a brilliant save from Ali Ferrari. Tokyo drift around turn 17, but you don't get any points for drifting in Formula 1, and that's now going to be Ali Ferrari in the pits, and I think that's going to be his final chance to actually just set a lap time, let alone challenge towards the top 5. I mean, you would think that, but
You would also think that if I didn't mute my microphone so they couldn't hear a word I was saying. Fantastic. So to the Twitch chat that didn't hear, I said something that I can't remember what it was, so never mind. I didn't think. Oh dear. Collateral Ads is apparently saying that Brookie doesn't deserve to be on the pole for pole. Well, not only does he deserve to be there, he's currently leading it with 5 votes. It's 63% as it just updates. AMS Drive gets another vote. No votes at the moment for Noko and Ali. And what were you saying then? Gary, it says is on a lap. I know he's not on a lap, he's on his out lap. I'm not quite sure what Cody's have done. Oh, Jesus, that was laggy. I'm not sure what Cody's have done to break that since the latest patch, but good job, Cody's. So, Silverside Boy onto his final lap. It looks like he's going to have some traffic as the Mercedes pulls well out of the way, and the Alfa Romeo of Henker's also pulling out. We'll hop on board because the camera angles are shit. And Gary now with his fresh set of soft tyres going hammer and tongs at the Circuit of the Americas. Oh, he's invalidated. He has got enough time for another run, but he can't back off too much. Ali Ferrari.
Looking at this pack of cars.
Yeah,
look at the pack of cars behind him. It's like, I swear, it's like 5 cars here trying to get a lap in with just over 1 minute left. this could be like Monza in 2019. Everyone trying to get a bit of track before,
Yeah, Gary,
like
get a
trying to
move on.
go for a run.
What are you doing? Get a move on, Gary. No one's on a lap. You're not going to get a lap
Hurry
in
up.
if you don't get a move on. Oh,
He's
what is
he's
he?
trying so hard to charge his battery. He's got less than a minute left.
Gary,
So does
ride the
everyone else
brake,
for that
ride the
matter.
brake. It's fine. He's got 87%. That'll last lap. It's fine. Anyway, let's hop on board with the current pole sitter, provisional pole, AMS Drive, as he comes around the last dregs of Sector 1 into Sector 2, which is effectively a couple of corners and this very long back straight. Now, oh Jesus. Okay, maybe I'm thinking that's not right, because that sun looked very, very blinding there. Going down the back, Brookiemin has won the pole for pole, and we'll find out there's less than 5 seconds left, as everyone has managed to get in another lap, which is good. Everyone has crossed the line. So we're still going to stay with AMS Drive. He will be the next to cross the line. Nice clean lap. I haven't been keeping an eye on the Delta because I'm a massive fraud. But round the last corner, it's a 133 dead from AMS Drive. That's 3.5 tenths up. Let's see what his teammate can do. He's 6 tenths up. And he goes, Pete. What? What is that?
Thousandth of a second.
What is that? That is amazing from the AlphaTauri guys. Let's hop on board with Nocco, who's 6 tenths up at the moment. He needs a little bit more to challenge the Alphas for pole tonight. He comes across the line and does a 33.2. It's not good enough at the moment. It is P3 for him provisionally, and it's Junu Vane next, doing fantastically. He's up in P6 at the moment. Can he improve coming around the last corner and across the line? That's P4 provisionally for Junu Vane. Object Fungus doesn't improve. Brookiemin comes across the line and goes P3. Less than a tenth behind the leaders. Henkers comes across the line, 33.6. Gary across the line, and I think he stayed in P9.
Wow, what an end to qualifying that was.
I'm gonna redeem me a drink for that.
Well,
Yep, absolutely. Also, a good last-minute lap there from Ali Ferrari, just marginally behind Brookiemin by, I think it was just over 100th of a second. And yeah, that 1,000th splitting the AlphaTauris is a little bit special. And it just shows what could have been had they have got their asses into gear earlier on in the season. And yeah, Ali beat his TT time, like David said. Yes, it wasn't a 33.2 though, so unfortunately, I will. I won't take all the plaudits for that. Ali's gone, big W. Apparently, he had another big moment at turn 17, but he didn't go round, so we don't add to the counter, unfortunately. But never mind. Oh, my capture card audio is frozen. I think. So I'm going to take an executive decision, ladies and gents. I'm just going to restart the stream quickly. I'm going to restart Streamlabs. Hopefully we'll get the capture card audio working again so they can hear the lovely soothing voice of Cruiser. We'll be back in a second. Thank you for your patience.